mute it. What we're going to do is we will present today what we're going to do, but we have every intention of leaving enough time to answer questions. We have a few that have been submitted, as well as we're going to open the line for you guys to ask your questions. We're not saying we have all the answers, but we'll do our best to answer as many as we can. So we're truly honored to have everybody here, and I know that there's going to be many people who will join us in the recording as well. There is a chat window also that you are welcome. Both Jen and Talita are here on my team to help us kind of just keep everything going smooth, to try and answer questions if they need to be answered quickly prior to us taking a sort of pause break. So I do want to say again, thank you to everyone. This has been a long time. Radiance and I might say that it's 3 years in the making, but it truly has been a lifetime in the making. I don't think I ever felt like every single piece of what I have been doing in my life has come together. Here I go, come together as well as it has right now. And to be honest, Radiant, I can't thank you enough for bringing me on the journey with you. You're an incredible soul, and I'm so honored that I've had the opportunity to meet with you and work with you for the past 3 years, and it's not work at all. Your attitude is infectious, and I love that you're always saying make it easy and fun, and that's what we're doing even for our authors. So we have had the wonderful opportunity for the past 15 years of bringing authors books into the world and helping them market it and become bestsellers and award recipients. But my dream has always been to touch not just thousands of lives, but millions of lives. And now we have an opportunity to do that. And not just at an adult level, but also at a children's lives and their minds and their spirits is really at the heart of it. So to know that we have this opportunity to do what we're about to do, or what we're unveiling to you to do, again, it has been years in the making. We have been working behind the scenes for 3 years, fun years. And we're only just the tip of knowing what we know today. So we welcome your questions. We welcome input. We welcome the continuation of this journey with you, because it won't end today. Of course, it'll just be the beginning of where we're going to be going. So without further ado, I will get started, and everyone can see my screen, I hope. I do have a presentation, so if you're on your phone, make sure you're scrolling so you can see the screen. I'm going to guess, Jennifer, you can spotlight it for me too. So without further ado, here is what the new adventure is for us. It's called the Creator's Pathway to Success. We're empowering creators with the pathway to success in education and entertainment. You're probably trying to understand what that is. Each one of you are creators, each one of us. Anybody who creates ideas, who creates books, who creates courses, who creates activities is on their way to success. In the past, our life has always been within Hasmark is creating it and announcing it, but we haven't been able to bring you the extension, the journey even further. And now we're ready to bring you on a further journey. And it's huge. I mean, where we're going with this is wonderful. And I can't wait to get you guys as involved in this as we can bring you into. And I want to thank Talita. She has done an incredible job on the presentation for us, by the way. I'm just moving it, so hopefully I don't interrupt anything. And now you're going to ask us is, how does it work? So let's start explaining it to us. Unfortunately, Task Cacciatore is the mastermind behind World Trust Network, and I'll ask that Radiance at any time I need more, information or more details, please jump in, and you won't be interrupting at all. So Tess Cacciatore was going to be on the call today, but unfortunately an emergency came up. What I will do is the next call in 2 weeks is bring her on to field all your questions, but she will be available through emails and stuff to answer questions. She is the brainchild behind World Trust Network. Radiance brought, from Silver Birch Studios, brought Tess and I together. Radiance is the one who told me all about World Trust Network. And what they do is they offer the platform to showcase your content in their private educational and public streaming networks. It offers flexible distribution through their full service streaming networks, as well as offering mainstream media through Roku, Fire TV, Android, and iOS. They have an a la carte pricing system is utilized throughout. They deliver high quality programs for learners of all ages. And what both Hasmark and Silver Birch are doing is enabling you as the creators to contribute to both entertainment and education by reaching a broad and diverse audience. I think here, Radiance, you can't see the presentation anymore, Jen?
No, Salida can't either. There, now we can.
Okay, sorry guys. I moved my screen.
Oh, okay.
So that I could have it in front of me instead of, in case you're wondering, I have 2 monitors, so I'm turning a little bit so that I don't have a problem with it. So thanks for bringing that to my attention. To me, this is absolutely incredible. And without Tess here, but Radiance is listening, so I'll be cautious, is that we're not just going to bring it into things like Roku and Fire TV, even though that's massive in itself. We're also talking about getting this into the school system, homeschooling. Like, it's huge, the opportunities here for you guys. It's these connections that the folks behind WTN are going to bring it to the world in a bigger way than I could have ever imagined having the opportunity to bring it. Radiance, do you want to pop in here at all on this?
Sure. Yes. First of all, hello everybody. I'm Radiance of Silver Birch Studios. I trust everybody is remarkable. Thank you so much for joining in today or to come, either one of those. I have a huge heart for education and for edutainment, which means not boring education. I know that authors oftentimes, my experience of working with creators and authors is that we've gotten to see gaps where traditional education didn't necessarily fill those gaps. Authors have a really gorgeous imagination and usually a huge amount of enthusiasm and really appreciate the storytelling aspect to help guide young people. So my initial conversation with Judy when I first reached out was, wouldn't it be amazing if we were able to take all of the authors that you know and brand alongside them to get them to the highest levels in edutainment. So the reason why I created this campus is specifically to help re-engage young people and people in the entertainment industry for a way to better serve one another. And I feel that authors have this unique vision that if we were able to go through each one of your books and pick out a few key pieces and strategies, we could incorporate that and send it back to the network, WTN, and create content around that that can reach young people and really inspire them, because you all are showcasing that you have followed your dream and you have followed a vision, and that people following their visions and having a team around them, that you can have a huge influence and inspire young people to follow their passions and their visions with team support. So 3 years ago, that's why I reached out to Judy. And the last piece of this is that I feel like sometimes God places something on our hearts in order to reach a much bigger purpose in life that's much farther beyond us. And I know the young people that I speak with need to hear from adults who have gone through the journey of life and have some insights and wisdom, and reach back and help the next generation come through because of the times that we're in. So that's just a place of my heart that I would ask that you consider. You have a phenomenal team around you who are available to help you discover what that process looks like in reaching back. And this can be from kindergarten all the way through adult edutainment, entertainment, and education. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And again, it's at the end of this, we'll be happy to answer further questions on it. Just to give you a little bit of insight of how it's going to work is that, as we talked about, Hasmark and Silver Birch Studios will help you to bring your idea to life. So our goal is to, talk to you from concept to creation and guide you through every step of the way. As the conduit, so we're basically, Silver Birch and Hasmark are basically the conduit. You would come to us with your content, we'd review, do all the things necessary to help you get it at a point where when we present it to WTN, there's no question. It's like, okay, let's go. And it's already there. They include it, whether it be at the educational side, entertainment, or the edutainment, whatever it is. So as it's pointed out here, their goal with WTN is to have you streaming directly into schools as well as into the general public, which is phenomenal opportunity. I know I've dreamed of that for a long time, is to get you guys being heard by people who are willing to learn, people who want to learn. So, and I think it's honestly, you're going to hear me say it over and over again, how excited I am with this. So we'll work with you to make sure that all of your content is as you want it to be, or if we are not there to help you with it, we have resources. Radiance has an incredible array of people who will be here to help you, whether it be the music or the branding. As you know, Peggy's my sister. She can help you if you don't have a course already created. They have the tools and the people and the courses to help you to create a course or content, whatever you wish. And but we'd be happy to work with you. I can't wait to get working with you. So as we mentioned, our collaboration doesn't end with the distribution. We'll provide ongoing support for other ideas, because Sherry, there's not just one idea in you. And there is a lot of ideas in you. So you know us, it's a lifetime commitment, not a short-time project commitment. For transparency reasons, we did want to let you know that this is a revenue sharing. It's, as most of you know us through Hasmark Publishing. This will be through Hasmark Services. I want the clear distinction between the two. Hasmark Publishing is fee-based, and you own the rights, and your fees for the royalty come to you. Whereas in this case, there isn't a cost by Silver Birch or by Hasmark to get you into the process. It is a revenue sharing basis, which to me is, I know everybody has asked for over the years to do it. And I think this is a phenomenal way for us to go forward. If there is, I just want to add a caveat, if there is things that we have to help you or you would like us to help you preparing, then yes, that would be a different, and we'll talk about that, in meetings that we'll set up. I do wish that after the call, we do set up calls with everyone so that we can talk to you one-on-one and brainstorm and expand on your ideas. And as you create more content, will help you scale and grow, because this opportunity is honestly to be able to reach people through this, to be able to do this kind of thing. We're just going to keep on expanding your growth and your success.
Judy, may I add one piece to that?
Of course.
Okay. Something that I know, one of the questions that has come up is, well, I know nothing about education, or how would my work have anything to do with education? So I work with producers, music producers, movie producers, film producers. It's simple things like vocab words. So let's say that you look through your book and you have 7 vocab words, and you can create a writing prompt. You share a little bit of your story, and you say or maybe it was like the 10 habits that I had to create in creating my book were these 10 habits. Like the things that you learned about yourself are pieces that we can help you integrate and create content around. So there's literally nothing that you haven't already done that this team can't help you imagine how to turn it into a piece of content that you can then sell to this network, or let us represent you at this network. Thank you.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. I agree with you. When we've been on calls preparing for now, my mind just explodes. And I told Sherry that the other day. It's like endless ideas. And then what does she do? She writes me back, and she's got a whole list of ideas of what she's going to be doing. So I gave Peggy a heads up, and within 10 minutes, I would say, she has 12 courses started for this. Like, it's, as soon as I told the girls, Jen and Talita had ideas. It's like, it never ends. It's wonderful. So we are focusing right now mostly on education, but keep in mind that education is, I don't think there's an age we can't touch. Like, education, sometimes I think of the schools, you think of the brick and mortar, but we're talking early learning, we're talking elementary, junior high, high school, college, university level. We're talking homeschooling, which there are, I think it's 3.1 million families, is it, or in the US?
I'm not positive of the number, but it was big.
The number's 3.1. I know that. 3.1 million. I don't know whether, again, I think it's families that are homeschooled. And then on top of it, talk about the boards of education. I mean, I know that there's 133,000 schools in the US, but I don't know how that breaks down. I don't know whether it's taking into account things like, pre-kindergarten and daycares and adult and continued education. Like, look at it. There isn't an age we can't reach, which is phenomenal. And I love the connections, the people who are working in behind WTN, which again, the next webinar will have at least one of their members, their board members, come and join us. Unfortunately, she wasn't able today, but anyway, so from your perspective, and again, keep in mind, this is the education side of things. So what you would do is you would first define your vision. Part of how we're going to help you with defining your vision is there is a questionnaire. So it's going to give you a lot of, to get started, it's going to give you a lot of things to think about as you go through the questionnaire. There'll be a lot of trigger points. Craft your syllabus, curriculum development, the presentation, creating your presentation. So once your curriculum, your syllabus is complete, you're ready with your course, you would then submit it to both Silver Birch and Hasmark Services. We'll be reviewing it. We'll let you know of any changes, any improvements we can think to do. Once we're in agreement and approved, we're going to be presenting it to WTN for consideration. Now, one of Radiance's favorite words is easy. And I'm going to use caution in giving you the easy way here. But here is the one of the only times I will tell you AI is an incredible tool. Shh, don't tell anybody I said this, because there is the whole legal side of things. And I know that some people we're a little more cautious about AI, but honestly, if you create it in such a way through AI that it's your ideas, that you're asking the right questions, that you then package it, I would not do 100% through AI. So here's the caution. If you do it 100% through AI, then AI has it and AI can share it with the world, because that's one of the things about AI, right? So you want to tailor it to be certain questions. You want to have them answer that it becomes branded of you. That's one way you're going to get around that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because my lawyer might come whack me over the head, is that if you have directed it, if you have branded it under your ideas based on what you've been doing, then you then own it. I just want to be cautious about the ownership. Again, if you go to AI and you just ask a random general question and they create the whole thing for you, you stand a risk that you don't own it. You stand a risk that it's shared around the world. The good side of it is, man, do they have an incredible AI, have an incredible ability to help you get this done easily. Radiance, do you want to talk a little bit?
I see a bunch of questions coming in, and I just want to state again that Judy is planning to answer these questions at the end. So thank you, everybody, for your questions. I recommend that if you don't have a site paid for AI, that you find a site that you can pay for it. Yesterday, one of the short videos that we were putting together for content was regarding water and music. So we had a scientist come in. He was talking about water with sound and vibration. The way that I created the prompt was, Silver Birch Studios is working with Dr. Satender. The 5 vocabulary words that we came up with were these. I would like to understand how to put this into a syllabus to understand the etymology of each of these words for a writing prompt for 9th grade. So then I typed all of that in. Silver Birch was listed on there as a writing prompt, the grade level that I wanted it for, and the vocabulary words that I was going for. And that generated, like a quick writing prompt that a teacher can use. They can download it and they can have it as part of that file. So that's an example of, you put the name of your product in, the words that you're wanting to use, the vocabulary words according to what you're wanting to use. And one more big piece of this information is, please write down the word STEAM, STEAM. And then write down the next 2 words are broad strokes. And those broad strokes are in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And Judy and I and our teams can sit with all of you and teach you how the content that you already have is in one of those areas. It can be engineering a book. It can be the science of language. It can be how art and how literature is a part of art, and who were the people that influenced you in literature. So there's so many components to the mathematics would be how I put my book together in a budget. And then budgeting for 7th grade math. That inspires other 7th graders to tell their own story. Thank you, Judy.
Awesome. Thank you. And I know I can see the chat window is going crazy, which is fantastic. I think it's amazing. So, and what we're doing today is trying to give you a broad stroke of what we're doing. I know there's going to be a lot of detail that we're kind of glossing over, but trust me, we have every 2 weeks, we're going to be continuing with the webinars, and our goal is to stay focused on this creative pathway to success, so that we can continue to help educate you guys as well as educating ourselves, because it's always going in two directions, and so that we can further advance your opportunity. So to talk a little bit about the entertainment, edutainment, to the public. I think edutainment, if anyone doesn't know the term, I think it's a fun term. And I know that both Radiance and Tess, especially Tess, has been using it for a very long time. I was trying to think of an example for edutainment. Can you think of anything, Radiance, right off the top of your head?
Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, is phenomenal edutainment. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's really entertaining, but at the same time, it's teaching. So I'm sure there's about a gazillion examples, of just not one single one landed in my head right at this moment. So, anyways, again, it's they're going to be streaming it on the entertainment side. We're not quite there yet. We've got a ways to go on that side, but don't think we haven't thought about it. Don't think it's not in development. I think things like music, when I start thinking about what you guys can bring to the table, it's enhanced book trailers, enhanced audio books. That are all entertainment as well. Book reading, stuff like that. So again, this one we're still working on. But edutainment is easy. It's part of the education part of it, but it's a little more bordering on the fun side of things. Entertaining at the same time. So what are we looking for? And I think this is just the beginning initial list. So if you're asking me, what am I looking for? What is Silver Birch and Hasmark looking for? We're looking for, of course, curriculum. We're looking for courses. When we say that, those could be one day, they could be a week, they could be a semester, they could be a half year, they could be a full year. There's no limit on that, especially when you think of the age range that we're going in, which is everyone. So could be that you're just doing a night course. You could be doing night courses. You know how when you go and take a course and then there's something else it brings you in light of? Well, that's the kind of thing that we're looking for. We're looking for books to add to our channels. Children's books are going to be very easy to do because you could do the audio of that book easily and having the pages open and the illustrations done. Of course, podcasts, they're going to be, in fact, I believe Tess started the first podcast of her cooking. It's Cooking with Tess.
Kitchen Cacciatore.
Kitchen Cacciatore, that's it. So she's got her podcast. So if you get a chance, look her up. Even WTN is online now. I believe their website's up, as a matter of fact. So you'll find out. But if you can, check out Kitchen Cacciatore, because that's the first podcast that has gone live with WTN. Of course, webinars, they can be part of the opportunity to stream and get to public. One of the things that they're going to be doing, I do not believe it's set up yet, but I could be mistaken, is the Shopify. There will be a shopping part of it, so product will be sold. through them. I have already ideas. One of the things I thought of right away is, as an author, so I'm going to go into the exclusive content for a moment. As an author, if your book is on Amazon, it doesn't qualify to just come here and sell it as well because it's not exclusive. But if your book is sold on Amazon individually, and I know that there's authors on the call individually, but it's not sold on Amazon as a set, a book set would qualify for this. Book products would qualify for this. Any byproduct of the books would qualify for this. One of the things I was thinking about is, if you had, I've talked to authors about this, you might go and print your book, have your book distributed through Amazon, through paperback and hardcover, or paperback and Kindle. But say the hardcover is too expensive, or you want specialized printing, embossed printing. You can do it here. You can sell it through this means. So just watch. We'll take over Amazon. I liked Radiance's reaction. But someday they'll bring this webinar up as, do you remember when they started? Like they did for Mark Zuckerberg or whoever else, you know, all the Apple gentlemen and all the other folks that started back when. So you'll remember Tesla, those kind of things. Other ideas, we're looking for enhanced book trailer. I know that I saw Scott had joined us earlier. We have his book being prepared as an enhanced book trailer. That's different than book trailer. An enhanced one is done in cooperation with both Gwen Productions as well as Silver Birch Studios. And I actually love it because it's very customized book trailer. It will, if it's a children's book, it'll include some animation, but it'll include created music specifically for the book for you. Anything I missed on that part?
Yeah, got it. You got it.
Okay, good. There's also story time. So say if you went to a school or you actually wanted to do it in your home, but I'm thinking of if you went into somewhere and you read your book, or if you wanted to go on and read your book, especially children's books, this is where I see this being a huge opportunity, or shorter books. You could actually read the book. It'd be a phenomenal children's book with children seeing you, like in a classroom or in front of an audience. That can be recorded and sold here. Of course, there's enhanced audiobook. What that means is, yes, it's a voiceover, but we would enhance it by adding the music to it. And of course, we have the expert with the studio behind you and recording audiences, and they'll create it for you. It won't be so today, if you had a book trailer, it's custom, it's stock music, but when you enhance it, it's created specifically for you. Audiobooks and MP4. Audiobooks and MP4 means we would add the visuals to that audiobook, which means then it's streaming visually throughout the Apple TV and Roku, stuff like that. Cartoons, of course, are a consideration. Animation, I kept those two separate because you could create a short animation, which is a little different than a cartoon. So that's an opportunity. Of course, on the entertainment side, there's going to be short films, featured film, TV series, documentary. That one's in production now. We're not close to that one, but it is an opportunity for you. Now, when we talk about exclusive content, I do want to even though, again, I want to note that even though you might be in the public with something, there are things that we can do that make it exclusive here. It isn't a significant exclusivity. Like, there are certain rules that will apply, but, you know, it's a lot easier to achieve the exclusive part of it than you realize. That's what I want to say. And I see Radiance shaking her head. Yes, absolutely. So I'm not going to keep you guys too much longer just listening because I'm not one to talk at people. But we did save the best for last, which I already mentioned to you, is that you will receive 50% of all revenues generated from your content. It will be applied to all income obtained through distribution and monetization of the material on the platforms we use. So what that means is if you sat there and you offered a program and you wanted to go low, so let's say it's $100 program, you're going to receive $50 for every program that's sold anywhere, whether it be schools, whether it be in the public world. The moment it's purchased, you receive. And don't forget, this is into, what's the word, perpetuity? So it's, if they buy it today, somebody else buys it tomorrow, one school gets it now. It doesn't mean that the next semester a different teacher will get it. It doesn't mean that, like, you stop and think, if there's 133,000 schools and every single school bought it for each one of their semesters, like, you can do the math. Like, I can explode with math. I'm not great at sitting here conjuring up a bunch of numbers, but I can tell you one thing. The opportunity is phenomenal. It's what I think is probably the biggest part of this whole thing is like Amazon. We all know that we create a book. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work finishing it and publishing the book. We'll run a bestseller campaign. We get lots of attention paid to us. But what happens? You stop talking even for a moment about your book, the sales drop. We don't have to sit here and do that. WTN is doing it for us. They're the ones who are finding the network. They're the ones who already have the inroad to all of these opportunities for us. And that's priceless as far as I'm concerned. Again, I don't know of anyone. I know that there is some things like specifically for teachers, a couple of people have told me, but that's just specifically for teachers. I don't know anyone doing it on such a big, huge platform with the opportunities like this. I don't know of another publisher, although, again, we're going to brand ourselves as Hasmark Services, not Hasmark Publishing, so that we can bring it even to traditional publisher. We're planning on, there's nowhere this won't go, this opportunity. I can't wait to hit the virtual trails on this. So I think with that is, I'm pretty sure that the last slide says that I don't want to close yet at all, but just before we do take questions, by the way, if you want to book a call, go ahead and take a screenshot. The email is there as well. But I think at this time, Radiance, do you have anything you wanted to add? Anything I might have missed?
I just wanted to say that when I was originally reaching out to Judy, I was looking for a really enthusiastic teammate to really reimagine the entertainment industry because of where we've landed, and to help turn it around so that we as a team of people can really reimagine a new way of being of service within the world. So Judy and I have been, like, she always talks about how wonderful her authors are and about how much time she spends, and she always speaks so well of each of you with huge amounts of enthusiasm. So you have team members who have been speaking about you for 3 years behind the scenes, getting all of this ready for you. And she wanted to present this to each of you first. And I know that there's a lot more of your group as well. We have had the opportunity to, like, expand it to a much bigger conversation with a lot more people, but she just wants to offer it to this team of people first because of how long each of you have gone the distance and really shown up for your own visions. So I'm grateful to be part of the journey here and super excited about it. You want a really enthusiastic team of people who are representing you, and Judy and myself and Tess and Jen and the whole Hasmark team are like, we're so excited. So we've been on these calls day in, day out. Talita as well. And so anyway, you have a huge team of people who are really enthusiastic. We've been talking about the books, and we've been talking about all of you to WTN in representing you. So so thank you for trusting that that we can bring something even further on your behalf and your biggest visions coming into life. That's what I had to add. Yeah.
Thank you for that. You're right. I did especially want to be able to present it to these folks today because I think they're all incredibly special, and I can't wait to get going on this with everyone. So
We can
okay.
go through questions.
Yeah, let's get those. Is anyone, if someone wants to put up their hand, we're more than happy to have you.
We have a bunch here already.
I see that. If someone wants to read their question, then put up your hand and they can do that.
Jamie's question we could start with. Do you have certain priorities of areas of educational content? Yes, that would be STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics.
You also mentioned it has to align with educational standards. So, so I'm a private tutor and I help children learn, but I go a little beyond or off to the side of what's necessarily the curriculum that the state requires, the public schools and all that. But are you looking more for exact alignment with the current, like, for example, I'm in New York State, so I guess people are in different areas. So there are New York State standards of content and methods of teaching. So for example, in language arts, there might be included reading books, newspapers, fiction, nonfiction. They'll list out all these things. Or for example, foreign language, I'm not sure what's there right now, but like, for example, with foreign language, I will just usually go a little, use a different method and go a little bit beyond and go further than the grade level and all of that. So we have to, I think what you want is for us to align exactly with the grade levels and the, because I try to use some more innovative methods that can get people more advanced than their grade level. But I'm not
Yes.
sure if that aligns with what you're interested in.
What I've been doing is I'm putting together pilot episodes to test the market. And so I'll put in like 7th grade through 9th grade. That way, if 7th graders receive it, it can be in those markers between 7th and 9th grade, or 7th and 10th grade, and broad strokes as possible. So we can also put it in a couple of different categories. So let's say that you use the word etymology for semantics. And the word etymology will break down, and you have Latin and Greek of where the word is coming from. So then I can tag Latin, Greek, foreign language, semantics, science, if that's helpful. So yes, broader strokes. And remember, it's also going for homeschool families. So you're going to get to see feedback on the families that are picking this up, or the teachers that are picking this up. And eventually it's my plan to start getting a loop going with conversations. I would invite people to have conversations with teachers and ask, the students that are having the hardest time, what are some things that you would like to see as a teacher, so that if you're going for grade levels, what are some of the things that you would like to see as a teacher that I can integrate into the pieces that I'm creating, the content that I'm creating. So,
So
go ahead.
a lot of homeschooling parents are doing it for religious reasons. So is religion out of it or in?
Religion can be in. If you're wanting it to go to a more traditional public school, then religion would be out. You wouldn't use that language. And I do content for both.
And what I notice about students is that they need study skills no matter what the topic. Are you looking strictly at academic subjects, or is there an area for the mindset, the confidence, the study skills, the general umbrella?
I do a lot with general because I personally am looking for super fun, engaging content. So I know that there's lots of things that have already been covered in all of the years of teaching that could be really dry and that young people are turning it off. So imagine the young people of today who have 7 seconds that you and that they have to pay attention to something. So making it as engaging and fun as possible as you're starting to curate your content going in that general direction. All of
Okay.
that to say it's new and good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna figure it out as a team.
Yes, absolutely. And what an incredible team. So
Yes.
thank you, Stevie.
Thank you.
Okay. I know Vicky put her hand up and I saw, but I think Jay is gone, but we'll answer because we're recording anyways. So let's go to Vicky. You're here with us. So
Hi there.
hi, Vicky.
Thank you for this. I remember you giving a presentation on the prospect of this before. So I'm excited that it's now coming to true fruition. And I wondered if there would just be something provided to your authors, Judy, on sort of the criteria, or, you know, like just laying out sort of what this program in sort of includes, so that those of us who are interested have like a framework to work with, so that we understand what we would, you know, what it would include and what you're looking for primarily.
Yeah.
Yes.
Radiance.
Yes.
I love her enthusiasm.
Yes, we will put that together for you so that in general, we keep it as very broad stroke conversations because this is all just coming online now. However, yes, we will have a step-by-step process so that you can take a look. This was just the initial. So
Yeah.
we have made it through the woohoo stage and we will get you as we have more details, we will be laying it out further and further for you. Yes.
Yeah, and we've already begun quite a bit of the creation of it too. We've got the workflow, we've got the process, we've got the and then we've got the presentation today, of course, that we can share with you. And then the goal is to also get on a call so that we can, that was part of the reason we did it in this format, is because if we open it up to the general public and said, just get on call, it would be too much. But Radiance and I agreed that we would set this up and then you guys would be the first ones we'd start talking to on one-on-one also.
Okay, good.
Because I think Vicky,
gonna be
with
my
what
other
you're
question.
doing,
Yes,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That would be my other question, is how do we, I guess, engage in the process? So that's fine.
the girls are going to at the end. We'll repeat. I'll show you the slide before we close down. But the girls at the end are also going to put the my schedule link in there, as well as the email address for you guys to send in to set up the call. So definitely. Definitely. And by the way, I think probably the next, and this is right off of the cuff, which is the best way to go. I think in the next call, we'll have both Tess and Peggy join us, because if you haven't already created your course, which I know not everybody has, Peggy offers the opportunity. And honestly, she's already started. You guys know that she can create an awful lot of courses. So, and for anyone, I don't know if anyone doesn't know by scanning the people here, but everybody knows who Peggy is, Peggy McCall, who's my sister. So she, of course, teaches people how to create. So, and many of you worked with her on your way to us. So absolutely continuing to grow. So thank you, Vicki. I see one of the questions by Jay is growing trend given this. Radiant's going to answer this one because I don't know the answer. Growing trend given that mainstream schools are now looked at as indoctrination camps with the gender ideology stuff.
Yes, the reason why we're going with broader strokes is so the young people that are in our public schools, there is a huge amount of young people in our public schools. So we're doing much more with I hear the question. The answer that I'm giving is if there's more of a certain area, like let's say that you're going towards Christian learning groups, you can create your content specifically in regards to homeschooling as it relates to a Christian environment. So if that's more the direction that you're wanting to go, we can help you build your curriculum specifically around that market. If you have instead more of a broad stroke, I'd really like to do writing prompts for stories about dragons. Then in the 6th grade through 8th grade levels of public schools, then we can help you specifically create content in that region as well. So yes, I recognize what's going on in public schools. I personally homeschooled my own children, and I've worked more in world schooling and rewilding and unschooling my children. But I have had major, I've helped to create curriculum that young people are really excited about because of what's happening in our public schools. So I just wanted to gently address that and say, yes, as somebody that's creating content, I do recognize that, and we can help you and support you in creating the content that you do want for the young people to be able to reach the young people. Hey, one of my producers just showed up. Say hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad. Good to see you.
Hope that
Awesome.
helps
Thank you.
answer that question.
I'm sure it does, even though she's not here, but I'm sure it does. Actually, it felt right.
Scott, I
Okay.
see you, by the way.
Pardon me?
Scott had his hand up. I do see you.
Cool. Yeah, we'll have Scott on in a moment because Scott's evolved in this world with us, which is fantastic. In fact, he's don't tell Peggy, but you're the first. So, but on the author side of things, Peggy's the first. How's that? So, thank you for trusting in us, Scott. And I might as well now, because we're talking about you, Scott. Scott's going down the road. Scott's now working on his second book with us, and which is fantastic. I can't wait to read more of it. I did read a lot of it, and then see how the illustrations evolve. And then we're also doing the enhanced book trailer with you. And now I believe your programs are going to be now, they're within, you're working WTN directly, correct?
Yes. Hi, everybody.
Thanks
Yes,
for
and
joining,
that's-
Scott.
You're welcome. All that you said is true. And yeah, I just thought I might just give everybody just a view inside because I've been working with Tess directly. I was lucky that I already have a course called The Keys to Unlock Your Inner Superpowers. And my book, Dax to the Max, is somewhat related to it. But that's a course I'd already been putting out there and selling. So, of course, now I'm going to make it exclusive to you guys. But the way that it's worked so far is I've taken everything and I've just uploaded it into the Google Drive that is shared with World Trust Network. And Tess has been I'm not tech savvy at all. And she's been very patient with me, even when I was like, I don't know how to do this. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I could do it, and so it's just really a pretty simple step-by-step. Once your content is recorded, uploading it. Tess has been great in directing it. And now I'm really just one video away. I'm re-recording an opening video that spoke to parents to make it speak to educators and teachers, and then sign the legal documents. And I'm going to go live on that. So it's been pretty simple process. But again, I already had content before that. I think that's probably going to be the bulk of it. So Peggy helping will be amazing. I didn't know all of that. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to share, that kind of what the journey's been like so far in getting content uploaded.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
That's fantastic. And I love that you're already have the program created. That does help a lot. But yeah, just reach out, because if you do want to get on the call with Radiance and I too, then we're happy to do it. Don't hesitate. Okay.
We could just
Good.
go out and visit Radiance again. We don't even call her apparently.
I know.
Whatever. One out here. I do
Yeah,
appreciate
she's got a
that.
beautiful
that.
place. Anyone wants to go visit her? I've
Yes.
heard and I've seen many times. It's beautiful there.
It is beautiful out here.
Yes.
I see Jamie said you all will be billionaires. Yes, that's why we're including everybody in this process of really re-engaging with young people and reimagining your own future so that you can give from overflow. That's where my heart space is that we engage people so deeply that it isn't about the finances, it's about the investment back into our communities and really helping to heal, helping to support the healing of one another, including our young people.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, Sherry, you've got your hand up here. Let's bring Sherry. I've been telling Sherry's had a heads up, and I've been excited for today. And then, of course, I want to set up a call because the ideas are endless with Sherry, as always. You're the master creator.
Well, I just had, because I am that, I've had just a couple basic questions. It's regarding, do we maintain our rights and copyrights on all of our materials, like
Yes.
especially the books?
Yes, as long as, yes, your book is your IP, it's your
Okay.
intellectual property. As always, I would ask that unless you're creating it with us or unless you're creating it with one of our teams, like a film or a docuseries or any of the above.
Mhm.
But yes, and please make certain that you take your notes and that you follow all the correct protocols to make certain that your IP is followed. But yes, once you sign a contract, it remains with you.
Okay, and the reason I brought that up is because I think this is an incredible opportunity. I mean, I really do. And the universe is really being good. But I thought that because I get invites to go to different places, like there's a cat cafe. My books are about, you probably know, but my books are about animal rescue and kids that are, bullied and that sort of thing. So I've got an invite to go out to do readings to actually, it's a cat cafe, if you know what that is. And it's called the Kitty Cup. And she wants to sell the books and she wants me to do readings to kids. And I also read them on the stage of the Lyric Theater, which is where I do my book readings and there's book signings. And then I also, just the other day, I was asked to come sell my books and do readings at this wonderful Italian bakery. I said, okay, you did bring on the cannolis and I'm there. But it was, I just wanted to make sure I could still do that, just that portion. I realize anything that
Yes.
we do together would be different, but
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's all. That's the way that you brand yourself. we would just work alongside you to make certain that if you create one piece of content, we would have you sign an exclusive contract that gives us the ability to represent you to WTN, and that you wouldn't utilize that material for that year that the contract is signed. So let's say that you create one class where you're reading to the young people, or you have like a cat that's sharing its backstory or something super fun, that you would sign, and then you would let that just be with the WTN for that year. And that you would, if people want to use that content, that they would go to WTN to utilize that content.
Okay, yeah, because I just want to make sure I was doing what was right, but didn't. Right now, I'm also involved in, Judy knows, I'm also involved in getting, trying to start at one of the animal shelters, the kids reading to cats. There's a lot of them out there with dogs, but kids reading to cats. And of course, every child, regardless of what they're reading, would be one of my books. I mean, they can have one of my books. And I just want to, make sure that that's okay.
I love this. Judy, may I just expand a little bit on one idea here to help people understand the process?
Absolutely. Again, anyone who has to go, Talita did put in the chat window the email address in my calendar, just so if you end up dropping off, and if you guys don't mind, we'll continue on.
Okay, beautiful. I just wanted to give you one idea, Sherry. This is the types of imagination play that I like to talk about. So in the city, usually through the library, you can go to, I know a lot of local libraries will have a videography team. You could go and work with a local videographer and sign a contract with the ASPCA, where you're getting to film the cats and the dogs while you're, let me just help that. While you're filming your story being read to cats and dogs, and then that could be like one cute video series that goes out. So it's things like that you already have resources locally that you can create something that's really fun and engaging. It's playful. It creates a really good engagement for young people. So yeah, brilliant. Yes, please keep doing what you're doing, and thank you for doing what you're doing. Awesome.
I can't wait to, I told Sherry that, and I've told Radiance that I do want to get on the call with you two ladies, because I think the expansion of ideas is going to be absolutely incredible. It does remind me that, surprisingly, and I think it's not for me, but because of course I've talked to Sherry many times about how your books have multi-levels, and Radiance touched on that a couple times during the call. Like Sherry, for example, your book is about animals and animal shelters, but there's also about the bullying aspect of your book. So a lot of times people think their book fits into a specific genre. It does, but it also has the dimensions to be many other subjects as well. So I love, Sherry, I keep holding you up all the time because you have so many ideas and so many things, and you never stop. I mean, everybody who listens at your idea book projects. Good for you. And I know you already sent me an email with a bunch, and then the wonderful books coming into fruition soon. The other thing that reminded me, and one of the questions we received ahead of time, is languages. It's not just English. Don't ask about Spanish, and of course that's easy. That's a easy yes. And most other languages, this is going multi-language, multilingual, I think is the expression. So absolutely yes. I believe also another one of the questions we got is libraries. I know we
Yes.
said college already.
Yes. Libraries,
Yeah.
yes, that's included.
Yeah, I know WTN has a connection. They've already been working with libraries as well. And I know losing rights, having rights, retaining rights, as you answered that, that's a complex answer in itself. But yes, For the most part, you retain the rights. We'll make sure that if, especially on the entertainment side, that's when the rights are different. Like if a movie's made, production. I think what Radiance noted with the rights is if it's co-created, that's different. But if
Yeah,
you
let
created,
me, Brad is here, so he can say a bit about that really quick.
awesome. Thanks, Brad.
Hey, how everybody doing? So I
Good.
had the beautiful pleasure to work with the Hasmark team and obviously with Mimi and everybody with Radiance. I've been knowing for a while. Oops.
Multi names.
Right. Yeah, even on the production side, and when you creating a process, like your original creation is all yours, you own it. But then also dealing with the legal side, we do have experts and lawyers that will walk you along. So if any, and this is for not just this platform, this for any platform. So if your book end up being placed for a movie or to get rewritten for a movie, then that's another process that we will sit down. But since you are the original writer, you always have the control of where it goes. So that's why a lot of films in Hollywood or LA or whatever in the industry, that's why a lot of them do get stopped because the original writer don't agree on something. And now it's a process because you got to agree not only what you like, but then you got to agree with the company. Then it's going to probably be one of the big three, one of the major companies that end up taking the film. So then it's another meeting on top of that. So we are more versed to sit down with you and really walk you through the process. So anytime when you think about if my art gets selected to go further, it's not like it's just here in this contract. It'll be another contract to help ride you along that ride, and it's a whole bunch of agreements. But you are protected, so you always the person that owns the right, own the masters, and it's been a beautiful process. I had the experience to work with the team the last few months before it got to this point, and it's been fast, it's been easy, and the professionals we got on the back end, all the way from the music to the productions. Obviously, y'all know about Judy and the whole team. It's just very beautiful, and the energy of the universe that they have. Even since I've been working with them, it has uplifted me on all the projects I work on too. So I'm very happy to be on one little piece to make this whole world go bam.
Wow. Very well said, Brad. And we're honored to be here with you on the journey. I agree with you. It has uplifted me because the fact that we're going to change lives the way we will is phenomenal. And I know that there has been an incredible amount of work in the back end to get us to today. And we've still got a long, long way to go. I can't even imagine what today would have been like if Radiance Brad hadn't been on the call, because there's a million questions I don't have answers to. But
Just
if
to
anything,
to that, Judy, sorry.
go ahead.
Judy, Jamie asked the question, still not clear on the exclusivity details. What happens? What happens is that your book is belongs to you. It's your intellectual property. When you bring it to this team through Hasmark represents your intellectual property and just asks that you sign the contract that says that you will make your intellectual property exclusive to WTN for a 1-year period of time, a 1-year contract. It means you're not going to go on the back end. You're not going to try to sell it to other networks. You're just going to let Hasmark represent you with WTN for that year. You still keep your intellectual property.
You don't sell it to other networks, but you don't sell it to the public either, or you can?
We don't sell, we represent you to
Okay.
WTN. And if WTN picks you up, then the exclusive piece of content that you created is then put out to all of their teachers, their whole network. And you get paid from that. You get paid through Hasmark from that, because they're representing you. But your intellectual property belongs to you.
And as you mentioned, though, is that if WTN approves and picks you up, it does become exclusive. So you don't get to put it on places like Amazon, and you don't, right? As long as that's clear, because I appreciate the question.
And the other piece that Brad is discussing, that's a later conversation, is about split sheets. And that's a later conversation that we can go over with each of you when we get there. But in general, it's your intellectual property.
And question, because there's a lot of questions that came to me.
Yeah.
So after this time, when the company have it, after, because you said it's about a year, right?
Mhm.
So after that year, what happens with the can artists still or author still use that after the contract is up?
Yes, let's say that all of a sudden y'all are launched and you're like, oh my gosh, this has been amazing. Can I now take this content and go to other networks and utilize this? Yes. After you are finished with your 1-year contract, you are welcome to take your intellectual property and go to another network. I have a sense that that this network is going to be pretty phenomenal, and people will be like, how can I add more to the network? But we'll see.
Yeah.
That's just where my experience has been with this so far, is that more people are wanting to invest because they see the care that's being taken to address this market and the learners in this market.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the question here, which is a continuation of it, is what happens if you have a podcast or a YouTube channel?
If you're welcome to, if you're willing to take that down and make it exclusive content specifically for WTN, then you're welcome to. We would invite you to consider that. If it's a great podcast and a great series, we would ask if you'd be willing to remove it from those platforms and make it exclusive content for WTN. And again, you might want to test the network first with something else. But if you have something great that isn't getting a lot of traction anyway, and you just want to test the market with something that you've already created, that's an option. Apparently, people are texting me. Time for the thing.
And also, Christine asked what WTN, it's World Trust Network is what it stands for, which is phenomenal name in itself, but that's the creative side of tests.
And I don't know that you're going to see much about it yet because they're working on the back end, pulling it all together. But those are all conversations that you can have with Tess when she is available to come on.
Trust me, in this world, there is a phenomenal team behind us. I feel like a tiny little bit of it, but it's an important part in presenting it to you guys. But I know that Radiance and Brad and Tess and her whole board have been working feverishly. There is a massive amount of effort being put in. There's a lot of programs that they've already started to initialize into the process, so that it isn't just you're at the groundbreaking point, but yet you aren't the very early beginning. Those are all being tested and done. And as Scott mentioned, even his programs have been worked on for a while now to get them into it. So it's you have an incredible team behind you, and I know I'm going to continue to keep on learning. Someone, Ingo, also asked, what happens to my brand name within WTN?
It remains your brand name.
Yeah. In fact, to me, I want to actually say that it's critically important. I don't think it's just important. It's critically important you have a brand.
Yeah.
And we can help you with that. If you aren't clear on your brand, then we'll help you with it. But your brand is really important, because what's going to happen, it's like anything. People are going to go and they're going to see something streaming or see something available through WTN. They're then going to research you. It's no different than a book. They want to find out who's the person behind it. Just like having Radiance on the call right now, you want to know who the people are behind all this. So having a brand is very, very important. And again, we can help you if you need help with that part of it.
The difference is that you're not going to be doing infomercials like if you're addressing young people, you'll give your name and you'll talk about being an author. but you won't necessarily say, and my brand is this, and this is what, so it's more like of an overview so that people can do their research on the back end.
Yeah, exactly. Jamie asked about video courses. This is not just books. It's one of the reasons I'm changing the brand to be Hasmark Services. I do not want people believing this is only books. No, not at all. It is courses, it's videos, it's, as we've talked about, podcasts, everything. It's not just books. It's just we have one platform to offer it to that I think you guys are going to get it really quick. And I think you guys coming in on the ground floor of it will be incredible. Because after a while, it'll be hard to get to them. They'll be like, you know, traditional publishing where they've got offices full of books. That's what it's going to be like getting to WTN. So you guys are on the ground floor getting in here. All the material created during the contract, who has ownership of it after a year?
It goes back to you. It's even while it's at WTN, it's still your content. We just help you to make sure that you have the support team to create your content. If you bring us in and you want to do sound design and sound branding, then you do split sheets with somebody like Brad. And he gets a portion of the sound design for your intellectual property. So if you're creating a film alongside one of our teams or a movie, or you're creating a TV series and you're working with an executive producer and a director, then that gets split in split sheets with you owning the intellectual property. Unless you hand it over and you're like, here's my intellectual property, here's a contract, but that's a later conversation. In general, all of this is your intellectual property, and we're just surrounding you with a support team so you can create it and get it to the network.
It brought to mind about the fact that I'm going to speak from me as Judy, is that I want you guys to know that Radiance, Brad, Tess are incredible professionals. I'm not, you know, and I don't mean to say it this way, but I'm just going to say it. They're not people who are working in their backyard and they come up with a concept and we're going to eventually get there. Like, these people are award-winning recording artists, studios, producers. Like, Tess showed me a short film that won how many awards, and you guys got the award for the music score on it.
Yeah, I think 22 or 23 across the
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, it's just, these guys are phenomenal. I am so fortunate that you brought me into your world, and all it came from is, have you got anything? Do you have anything to do on this day? Could we talk for a few minutes? And then she talks about certain people, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Sometimes I feel like I'm sitting in my backyard. We do sometimes, by the way.
The studio is in my backyard, but yes.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful backyard. And trust me, as we grow, there'll be an invitation to go to her backyard soon enough. We've been talking about it for quite a long time. So
I just wanted to give you you can look up our site. That's silverbirch.studio. Brad is just in town. He's usually between Los Angeles, Georgia, and Las Vegas. So he's in town for one of the
that's your website.
Yeah, we doing
Awesome.
a studio life course here. So we do ages from 12 to 18, and we teach them music production, songwriting, and even the further step, far as if they want to go into management or executive producing, all the way to film. So we bringing in a few Grammy producers flying in next week, and the kids get to be a part of producing a song that eventually next year will be submitted to the Grammys.
Wow. It gives me goosebumps. Wow. There's part of the heart, and I know that it's true to Radiance's and Brad's hearts, is the younger folks too, is being able to change their life and give them opportunities they never would have had before. So it's an important part, and as we continue to keep unrolling this, it will be more and more. Also, we'll be adding that element to it too, as the younger folks. So I think with it being 20 after 1, I knew we'd have a lot of questions, and I wish we could stay on and continue to keep on chatting, but I know that we have another call going on at 1:30. I think just one thing with just to answer the last question that I think is that in STEAM, does the A include visual arts, music, and other
Yes,
arts?
all arts,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That's
And a
what-
video,
that's-
creating a video, do you own the sound? And do you, if you create videos and do your own sound, you just hand it over? Yes, exactly.
We would encourage you to, because we really like setting and staying within a gold standard of sound quality. We are making gentle requests that you work with a team of professionals. And you can be the director of that or the executive producer, but we would gently request and invite you to consider that you want your investment at a high quality level. So working with an editor and working to put together your vision at a top tier so that we're all matching each other on what we're representing for WTN. And if you want,
Absolutely agree.
please keep us posted. If we can't do it ourselves, we may be able to recommend somebody for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like getting your book done. If you do it by yourself, you know what the quality is like. So it's the same thing goes for this. So honestly, folks, so in the chat window, Jen has put in a form that you can fill out. It's a questionnaire that if you already have an idea and you want to submit it for consideration, there's a form there. If not, email us. Also, the email is in there, sales@Hasmark Services. Of course, we'll answer Hasmark Publishing, but I'm going to start transition all of this into Hasmark Services, as well as my calendar. And I will do everything I can to put the incredible Radiance into the call with us as well, because I need her brilliance to continue on. And honestly, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for bringing me on this journey with you, and Brad for being part of this and educating us and being with us through it. And I know that there'll be a long journey together, a long, successful, exciting, and fun journey together with all of you. And again, I invite you to set up a call. We're happy to talk to you. We're happy if you send us questions through email, that's easier. Shoot them off through email. This is recorded, the call. We will be sharing the recording with all of you as well as anyone else who signed up. So we just want to thank everybody. You can open your line if you wish. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Radiance, do you want to say anything in closing?
Super grateful. Love your team. And it's been just such an honor working with you for the past 3 years to bring us to this moment. And for all the authors moving forward, I want you to know that I've prayed about it for an extensive period of time. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to help bring your vision to strengthen our communities. So please know that you're valuable and that you've been considered, and we look forward to being part of your team and supporting you moving forward.
So thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye now. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.